What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the debut album from the band Sightless Pit, entitled Grave of a Dog. This is released on Thrill Jockey Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Rhode Island, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very dark, nihilistic, experimental style of industrial music. Yeah. When I first heard about this project coming to life, I was extremely excited, extremely anxious, and extremely curious as to how things were going to work out, because Sightless Pit is a trio that involves some very, very notable, well-known, well-respected entities within the music world, within the extreme music world too. Most notably, you have Dylan Walker, the vocalist of Full of Hell, Lee Buford, the drummer of The Body, and Kristen Hayter, aka Lingua Ignota. I knew from the minute I heard of this band announcement that something completely different and out of left field was going to come. I wasn't expecting something to be full out bombastic and metallic. I definitely was expecting something completely different. And upon hearing one of the first tracks to be released from this album, most notably King's Corpse, I was very intrigued right away, because you had this melding of sung vocals, harsh vocals, trippy, glitchy sort of beats, and it just sounded completely weird and crazy and chaotic, and I really, really liked that. I was very curious to hear how the rest of this full-length album was going to be, and now here we are with this full-length debut from Sightless Pit entitled Grave of a Dog. It's 8 tracks, and it clocks in at around 38 minutes in length, and I would say to anybody that is into all of the bands that these people are in, Full of Hell, The Body, Lingua Ignota, if you are a fan of all of these bands, I really don't see why you wouldn't love something like Grave of a Dog, because this is something completely different, but I believe it incorporates all of the best elements of these individuals together quite nicely, quite favorably, and at the same time delivers something very striking, very bold, and very scary at times. Like I said, the main story of this album is the fact that there is a lot of heavy usage of industrial style sounds and beats throughout this album. Some can sound a little bit dance heavy, other times it can be a little bit more dark, dreary, and solemn. Like, take the track Violent Rain. You hear all this bleak sorrowfulness in the background, but then you get to the parts where you hear Lingua Ignota sing, and it just sounds really, really dark and crazy. But then you have a track like Immersion Dispersion, or whatever the hell. Really, really trippy, dancey sort of beats, and then you get the harsh vocals being set in, and then you get to more peaceful stuff like Drunk on Marrow and Love is Dead, All Love is Dead, where you get, on one end, you get some really crazy, harsh vocals being done here, but then on the latter track, the final track of this album, you get the beauty of Lingua Ignota's voice. And I think it works out really, really well here. That's another thing to point out about Grave of a Dog, are the vocal styles here. Dylan's vocals are very easily distinguishable. You already know his croaking, retching sort of style. It's very much on display here on this album, and he puts in a very, very strong vocal performance here. I definitely enjoy what I hear from his end of this album. And as far as Lingua Ignota's vocal styles, of course, her vocals are unmistakable, undeniably good. I love how she sounds here. I love her energy. I love her passion. I love her emotion. And especially for some of the more in-depth, lengthier tracks of this album, like the songs Violent Rain, and of course the closing track, Love is Dead, All Love is Dead. Very, very strong vocal work from Lingua Ignota here, and especially the parts where both of these vocal styles begin to intertwine just a little bit. Like, I think on the opening track, King's Corpse, you hear that quite well, and then I think on the track, The Ocean of Mercy, I think it's The Ocean of Mercy, or miles of chain. You just get a lot of great vocal work on those particular tracks here. But I think it's an overall intriguing mixture of clean, sung, harsh vocals, these really awesome, danceable, headbangable sorts of industrial beats. It's just something really different here, and I really appreciate the originality being brought forward with an album like Grave of a Dog. So overall, if you're into any of these bands, if you're into Full of Hell, if you're into The Body, if you're into Lingua Ignota, definitely come into this album with an open mind, because this is not going to be something you're expecting. This is definitely heavy in many different sorts of ways, in terms of the musical stylings, in terms of the industrial beats, the vocal stylings, the vocal patterns. It's just something very special, something very original, and I definitely am looking forward to hearing more from this project if they decide to do more stuff in the future, because we all know all these bands are busy in their respective rights, but when there's time to come together to create something as brilliant as Grave of a Dog, it's going to be worth the wait. So if I had to think of any personal favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say King's Corpse, Immersion, Dispersion, Violet Rain, Drunk on Marrow. That's another really great song. And Whom the Devil Long Sought to Strangle. That's another really great track. So what I'm going to do is I'm leaving you some links in the description box of how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Sightless Pit Bandcamp page where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it, buy it digitally, and it's available physically as a CD and 12-inch vinyl. If I'm not mistaken, the vinyl version that was being advertised as clear pink has been sold out. Of course, when this album got announced, everybody had an opportunity to pick up a copy. I myself picked up a copy when it announced the second run of the pink vinyl. I definitely ordered one myself. And let's see where Sightless Pit goes from here. So again, the album is Grave of a Dog by Sightless Pit. This is released on Thrill Jockey Records. Definitely check this one out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very solid 9 out of 10. Very, very wild, crazy, and original stuff here from Sightless Pit. If you've happened to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it. Or any of you guys into Sightless Pit, definitely let me know. I'm going to include this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until the next time, Armijo out.